Welcome. This is day 3. I'm YR817YOOTkqHH51uZcln, and I'm happy you're here. It's a great day for miracles. And I wanted to say, as we begin, that a miracle doesn't take any time at all. It doesn't take any time to be what you are. It doesn't take any time to be love and light, because light is what you are. What sometimes does take 40 days is for the shift from your old way of being to the truth of what you are to stick. So you can easily shift into that, call it a vibration, a state of mind, and you feel the joy of it immediately. And what often happens is most people can't stay there. They slide back into old ways because the old ways are so rooted in habitual patterns that we just naturally slide back there. So this 40 days is a time where you're holding yourself consistently in this new place. And it can feel uncomfortable, but you can do it though. I mean, you can see that it's possible. And today's topic is vigilance. And Course in Miracles talks about this topic. And I would like to also share a great story by a woman named Anita Murjani. And I want to tie this in with vigilance because she mentioned this one little thing in a video that I watched, and I never heard her say it again. And I feel that it's the most important thing that she's ever described. And yet I don't hear her talking about it very much. But just a little bit of background on her. She's an incredible, amazing, beautiful teacher. And she was just this woman. I don't believe she was on a spiritual path. And she developed cancer. And it got so bad that her body was filled with tumors. She got to the point where she could no longer walk. And, she just was sick. She was just a sick person. And what happened is she had a death experience. She left the body. She was rushed to the hospital and she died, according to what the world calls death. She had the flat line. And she literally went into the light, and she saw that all is one. She saw that there's only love, that everything's connected, there's no sickness. So her body was still there in the hospital on the table, and she saw that she's not the body. She was free. She was totally free. She felt safe. And it was just this amazing feeling of peace. And she didn't want to come back. I mean, once you have an experience like that, you don't want to come back here. And her father showed up and he said, "We want you to go back. Please go back and tell people what you've learned." And she didn't want to at first. And then she said yes. And she landed back in her body and it was completely healed. And there was no more tumors, no more sickness. And I love that. I love that story. And what she described in this talk that I listened to was that every day that she was here, back in the body, back in the world, she started to lose that memory. So she is someone who had a full-blown experience of seeing physically the true world. She saw what the quantum scientists are proving is true, that there's only light, that all is one, there's only love. There's no attack or sickness or grievances, there's no heaven or hell. This world is what hell is. And then she had a physical experience of spontaneous healing, and she still fell into doubt. And she said that as she was here, she started to pick up those old habits of fear again. So she saw, she knew, and people were starting to attack her. So she had posted her story, her near-death experience story, on a near-death experience website, and people were beginning to attack her, and she couldn't deal with it. She said, "I don't want to do this." And she made a decision, "I'm done. I'm just going to go work a regular job and live out my life and know what I know." And a woman, a friend of hers, invited her to speak. I think it was at like a women's conference. And she said, no, I don't do that kind of thing. And her friend's like, are you crazy? The world needs to hear this message. And she made this decision. She got quiet. She thought about it. And she said, yes, I'm going to do it. And she went and she gave that talk. And she felt great. People were so happy that she was showing up and sharing this experience. And when she woke up the next morning, there was an email from Wayne Dyer saying, I want to bring you to Hay House and I want to help you get your message to the world. And there's so many elements to that story I love. And the part about saying yes, you're saying, yes, I'm going to share myself. And the whole universe then conspires to help you. But the part I want to talk about today is the part about sliding back. And again, like I love A Course in Miracles, I was saying yesterday, because it allows every single person to have that experience that Anita Moorjani had without getting sick and without dying. You literally will see the oneness. And this is the place that I live. I see everything different than I used to see. And I see with what A Course in Miracles calls Christ's vision. I see that all is one. And I'm sharing this message. And what I know to be true is it takes vigilance, everyday vigilance. There is not a day that I show back up here in a body that I have to just, sorry. There's not a day where I wake up and I just can, every single day, I have to practice and train myself to be vigilant. That's just part of what it is. Just like Anita said, it's very dense here. This world is very heavy. It will pull you down into the darkness if you're not vigilant. So every day I have a practice. I have a morning routine. I have a daily practice of centering myself. I spend time with God every single day. It's the most important thing that I do. And I get myself into that frequency. So it's like plugging myself in, turning myself on. And I don't know. I just think that that's what's required. You have to remember the truth. And so I wanted to read some things from A Course in Miracles about vigilance. And it says, be vigilant only for God and his kingdom. And so you often hear in the Bible, seek ye first the kingdom. And so seek ye first the kingdom means your new way of being card. You're seeking here first. You're being vigilant for what's on this card. I'm a child of God. I'm all light. All is one. And you're holding yourself in this place. And again, it takes mastery. It takes vigilance. And you're being vigilant against your false way of being. Complaining, criticizing yourself, carrying around shame. And it says, be vigilant only for God and his kingdom. This is a major step towards fundamental change. And that's what we're aiming at here. Fundamental change. Change that sticks. Not change that lasts a moment and then you slide back into your old patterns. And it says that you have to have a clear-cut priority for vigilance. This lesson is unequivocal in that it teaches there must be no exceptions, although it does not deny that the temptation to make exceptions will occur. You absolutely will be tempted to go back to your old way of being all day long. And the training, the mind training that we're doing for these 40 days and what A Course in Miracles is you're training your mind to see when you slide back there. And you're making a different decision. You can really look at this old way of being as temptation. You will not be tempted. For 40 days, you are a master. And you see that you absolutely can do this. And then it says, here then your consistency is called on despite chaos. I love that. Because you're going to see your whole world is doing all the things it normally does, and it's calling for you to respond. And you're standing in the center of the chaos, holding yourself centered in love, being vigilant. Here, then, your consistency is called on despite chaos. So you're allowing everything to be exactly as it is. Let the chaos be the chaos. Let people be as crazy as they want to be. You are called on consistency and vigilance. And then it says, you create by your true being. True being. This is where creation happens. Creation does not occur. Miracles do not occur when you're located in the thought system of fear and being your false self as a body identity. Nothing happens there. Nothing happens except the repetition of what you've always gotten. Problems, sickness, worry, doubt. And when you don't want those things anymore, you enter into sort of a period of unknown. You don't really know what's going to happen next, but you're willing to step in with an open heart, open mind, and practice differently. So it says, the wholeness of the kingdom does not depend on your perception. So what Anita saw was happening before she saw it. You see, the light's already here. You just can't see it yet. And when you'll see it, you'll know that it was always there. And so the wholeness of the kingdom does not depend on your perception, but your awareness of its wholeness does. So you become aware of its wholeness. It is only your awareness that needs protection, since being cannot be assailed. Your true being cannot be assailed. You are pure light. And I'm just going to keep reinforcing the truth about yourself for 40 days until it sticks. Vigilance is essential. Doubts about being must not enter your mind, or you cannot know what you are with certainty. So in the beginning, you're not certain that you're all light. And that's okay. You're just allowing yourself to have faith, say maybe that's true. And more you'll see that it is true. Vigilance is not necessary for truth, but it is necessary against illusions. This is so important. Your vigilance is necessary against your false way of being. So for 40 days, you're watching yourself like a hawk. And you're being vigilant to catch yourself when you're doing any of these things on your card. Striving, planning to make things happen, being in doubt around money, all the sayings that you have. I'm so busy. It's hard. Things are hard. Being vigilant. I'm catching myself when I'm having these beliefs. Your vigilance against sickness is the only way to heal it. Once your mind is healed, it radiates health and thereby teaches healing. This establishes you as a teacher who teaches like me. And the like me is Jesus, the same mind that was in that man that walked this earth 2,000 years ago. Jesus is the author of this book. And he was able to reach through a woman named Helen Schuckman in the 1960s into the 70s, and he communicated through her this message. And so it's brilliant. It's a brilliant document that we're able to read these words here, that Jesus is here telling us what we want to know, we want to hear. Once your mind is healed, it radiates health and thereby teaches healing. This establishes you as a teacher who teaches like me. Vigilance was required of me as much as of you, and those who choose to teach the same thing must be in agreement about what they believe. So vigilance. So today, all I ask for you to do is really just look at how long you can stay in that place. And today I want you to look at this third part of your commitment letter. I commit to 30 minutes a day minimum of focused, quiet time with no distractions for listening, journaling, prayer, and meditation. And what I ask you to do during that time is stay consistently in the light. Just stay in that place consistently. Hold yourself there in rest and relaxation, not trying to accomplish anything, but just allowing yourself to spend time with God, spend time in the thought system of love, and make a daily practice of it. So we're getting down to this third one here, which we made a commitment to. This is a daily practice. I call it spending time with God. You can call it spending time with love, spending time in joy, whatever you want to call it. But you're staying in that frequency for 30 minutes minimum with no distractions. And at first, you probably will feel resistance about this. You don't have to know how to do it. And I just want you to see for yourself just what it's like just like Anita. She spent time in the light. She went beyond the body, left her body on the table. So that's what you're doing in these 30 minutes. You're leaving your body on the table. You're going beyond the body into the mind that is yourself in the light, where you know all is one. You might have to pretend at first. You might have to think, okay, I feel like I'm pretending. I don't see anything. That's okay. But what will happen is when you come back, you see that the body is different. It's healed. It's completely healed. It requires vigilance against illusions. It does not require vigilance to be what you are. I love you, I honor you, and thank you.